I'm currently in the car by myself because Zach is being a little bitch. While we was going down the road, he kept complaining that he was hungry. I pulled over on the side of the road, so I told him that he could eat a canned good. And whenever we pulled over and I popped the trunk, got the can out, he wanted to complain because he said that the can was too cold. So while I was driving down the road, I full blasted the heat and held up this motherfucking can of spaghetti and meatballs to heat it up.
Come on. It's cold.
And I held it up there until my hand was red, burning both of them, and still want to fucking complain.
It's disgusting.
First off, they can't hear with the air on.
First of all, I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
See, it doesn't matter what you want no more.
No, it doesn't. Because
Apparently not, because I'm eating cold fucking noodles. Why are you crying?
I'm trying my best not to knock you the fuck out. Boy, you done ate half of it.
There's hair in it now? There's hair in my food. There's hair in my food. Man, come on. It's cold, man. Throw up everywhere.
No.
I'm gonna start putting Thanks, Pop. Don't you do all that. Damn, I ain't never got my ass run over trying to get water. Just farted.
We may have had the worst 24 hours of our life.
Yeah.
Okay, so yesterday afternoon, while working, we were driving down the road and I got an email notification from the bank saying that our card was declined. But then I just brushed it off and I thought, well, maybe it was just an error with something that was supposed to pull out, like a subscription or something. So I didn't think nothing about it. So we kept driving, and about 3 minutes after that, not long at all, we got another notification saying the same thing. I went to look at the emails more detailed to really read them. Purchase online from Best Buy in Minnesota, and the other one was a purchase for Oral-B hair care. I don't know what it is.
In 2 different states.
But it was in New York. But I'm like, okay, I know that we did not order anything from this. What can this be? Clearly somebody has my card. On the bottom of the emails, it says that if you don't recognize this purchase or this transaction, then you can send them an email or call this number immediately. It was not letting me click on it in the email, so I just went to regular phone and I typed in the number. Usually whenever you call my bank, like their 1-800 number, automatically it'll ask you the same questions. The first question is, what is your card number? They want to know PIN for it, all that good stuff, your social, everything. Whenever it was ringing, it asked me one question. It wanted to know my card number, so I put it in. That's usually the first thing that it asks. Right after putting my card number in, it doesn't ask me anything else. The phone spazzes out. It beeps out.
Did a lot of stuttering and glitching.
Yeah, it was like a lot of glitching. The call was transferred to another number, and it didn't ask me anything else. And whenever it picked up, a man answered the phone.
It didn't sound professional.
But it was not professional. Like, he was very sketchy. The moment he picked up, like, I could hear other things in the background. I needed to trust my gut because I did not feel comfortable. I hung up the phone. He wasn't even asking me any questions about what I called for. He was basically putting it all off and asking me things that he should not have even needed to ask. And you don't need the security code on the back of my card whenever my stuff is on file in the system. If you really work for the bank, then you should be able to pull up my information. I hung up and I tried to call again. This time, you could tell they were much more professional. I explained what just happened with the previous phone call. He did say that, yeah, that did sound as sketch and that he would make a note of it, whatever. I don't even know.
Bullshit.
It's all just a bunch of shit. So I explained the situation to him, and I told him what had just happened, and then I started telling him what happened with the email. He was going through my transactions for the day and checking off what I had done. He could see where it was, yes, somebody had manually put my card information in, and my card had been compromised.
Could have been a card reader or anything like that.
And I'm sitting here thinking, like, how did this happen? And he said, usually nowadays, he said, and especially lately, it's been increasing. There are card readers that people will put into ATM machines or the machines at registers and things like that, that whenever you slide your card in, like, you can't even see the device. Whenever you slide your card in, it automatically scans all your information on your card. Well, I've heard about these things, but never around where I live. I've never seen that around here. How the hell did this happen? Because I'm like, I never go anywhere weird. And then I remembered. I went to the gas station, but it's not national. It's a local chain. So I just stopped to use the ATM. I was too far from my bank
to pull cash out.
So I just stopped right here. Whatever, pull over. I've never used any other ATM other than my bank ATM before. So I went in, I used the ATM, I left. I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, that's where it came from. And he agreed, yeah, that sounds like the most likely answer to what's happened here, because there was nothing else unusual other than that ATM on there. He set up an appointment for me to go to the bank for a temporary card until my actual card comes in the mail. The bank branch store that was closest to me was currently closed to the public. They're only doing drive-through. So the next closest one to us was out of state. It was over the state line. We ended up going over the state line this morning for the appointment for the temporary card. Whenever I get there, my appointment's at 9 o'clock right when they open. So I get there about 20 minutes early. I sit in the parking lot. And then right at 9 o'clock, I go up to walk to the door. When I walk up to the door, I try to open it. It's still locked. Now, it's 9 o'clock on the dot, so I'm like, okay, it's fine. I can see through the glass. They watched me pull on that door, and they just looked at me. Right whenever I went to grab to open the door, they watched me do it. They sat there and watched me do it and did not acknowledge me. They turned back around and continued their conversation, or started a conversation. Hell, I don't know. I'm still standing here. At 9:07, I'm still standing outside these doors, and these people are no longer talking to each other, just staring at me through the door. One lady finally comes to the door. She opens the door for me. I walk in. Nobody spoke to me. Nobody wanted to help. They were just standing there looking at me. They turn around, look at something else, not even paying attention to me. The lady who opened the door finally comes up to me, and automatically, do you have an appointment? Hold up now. I do have an appointment. At 9 o'clock. I have an appointment at 9 o'clock. And my thing is, okay, last night, whenever I talked to this guy, he told me, he said, well, this location across state that's closest to you, other than the one that's closed down, is completely open tomorrow. So you can do it anytime you want to. I said, the quicker the better. Get me in as soon as they open. Okay, perfect. 9 o'clock. So I knew I was the only one scheduled, unless somebody scheduled after I did at 7:30 at night. This lady walks over. Okay, we'll call the lady Erica. But after she asked me rudely, Erica walked over to, we'll call her Ashley. Erica walked over to Ashley and said, do you want her? Do you want her? Somebody better fucking want to help me. Ashley says, oh, is that the only appointment for today? You bitches fucking knew I was the only motherfucking appointment in here. Ashley's like, yeah, whatever, send her over. I walk over there, I sit down, I'm still being an adult, being respectful. And Erica goes back to her desk in the cubicle next to Ashley. First off, I'm supposed to be with a specific banker anyway, right? So I guess they were just tossing me around since they had no other appointments. Whatever banker you finally decide to stick me with, whatever I'm talking about with that banker is supposed to be between me and them. Erica just kept chiming in. Ashley's like, so what can I help you with today? Same snooty attitude as Erica. I started to explain my situation. She automatically just does not even want to listen to what I have to say. Well, this store doesn't have temporary cards anymore. then why the fuck am I here? Because at this point, I'm like, these people. Well, is there another branch around here in the next town over? Whatever you gotta do. Y'all made me this appointment. Somebody needs to help me. She goes on, no, I'm not gonna look up nothing on the computer. You're not gonna find a temporary card anywhere. I understand if that's the truth. I'm frustrated because the guy who made this appointment for me should know. Somebody should be relaying this information to all of the workers whenever they go to make these appointments. I'm kind of losing patience with this woman because she keeps cutting me off short. She's very nasty. And you got Erica over here keep looking over, listening to what the fuck I got to say, all up in my mouth. Well, can you look up something in my original state? I'll just drive back over. I gotta go back anyway. I'll just go to a bank there. Erica chimes in and interrupts before Ashley can even say anything. Like, she basically just cut me off. She jumps in the conversation. No ma'am, there's no reason for us to look into the computer and try to find any other appointments in that state either, because that state only has drive-through right now. They're not allowing anybody inside. At this point, it's like, why am I even fucking with this bank anymore? Fuck this bank. Fuck you. Before I left this bank, Ashley chimes into the conversation one more time, sitting directly in front of me. I'm sorry that we couldn't help you today, but I can type up a complaint for you if you'd like. Bitch, I'm about to type up on your forehead! So I just get my ass up and I walk out. I get back to my car, start to call another bank in my state personally, not going through nobody else. I'm calling them my damn self this time because clearly I can't get any help or direction from anybody else. Call a bank back in my state. Another hour and a half drive that I'm gonna have to make if they can get me in. They pick up. I need to speak to somebody at the top, please. And the lady proceeds, she was very nice, she proceeds to tell me that she's the service manager. Her boss was currently in a meeting with somebody. She asked me if there was anything she could do to help me. I'm telling this fucking story for the 20th time. Let me go step into his meeting real quick and see what we can do, because they were completely full today. She comes back to the he'll see you at 12:30 if you'd like to have that time. Yeah, perfect. I'll be there.
So we take a road trip.
Here we are driving another hour and a half
back into our state.
To the new bank. The bad part is over, and then
the ship sinks.
I walk in and everybody instantly turns around to look at me. The lady who spoke to me on the phone was behind the counter. She said, oh yes, she remembered. And then she told me to have a seat in the chair. This guy comes out, Carmen. I held my hand up and I'm like, Cameron. And this guy, there was something off. Yes, this motherfucker was like cracked out. He was fucked up on something good. Walk into his office. Every time he looks at my face, he stares into my fucking soul. And then he starts trying to promote me the virtual wallet. He's trying to sell me on the idea of a virtual wallet. And I understand, you know, you're in a business. You're a manager of this bank. You really are trying to like push your customers to do stuff. But sir, I came for this fucking card and I'm gonna leave with one. And he keeps talking about this wallet being
cracked out.
Weird. Like a fucking madman. I don't know what the fuck you're typing, but my name is not 27 digits long. Everybody's gonna go cardless. Everybody's gonna go cashless. I pull out my phone to get this motherfucker to stop because he's really like wheezing out right now. I pull out my phone to start pretending like I'm setting up the virtual wallet. Pull up the bank app on my phone, pretending to
give a fuck.
Yeah. Like, yeah, give me my fucking card, let me go. I'm not a fucking dummy. Like, obviously, I can figure out how to set it up. It was plain as day. The instructions were there in the app. I don't need no help doing it. I can do it later if I want to, but I really am not concerned about that. Because personally, sir, I don't want to fucking use it. Just give me that piece of plastic.
Give me that piece of plastic.
This man stands up out of his chair, walks around his desk, and comes up to my shoulder, leans his head down and goes, "Did you get it set up?" I kind of just sat there, confused. He leans in a little bit closer and he goes, "Let's see if it works." Okay, let's not.
I put the fuck up.
I'm kind of like
Fed up with it.
trying to get away from him. Like, I cannot scoot over any more in my chair than I already have. He goes back around his desk and he says, click the button on the side of your phone. What? So I click the button on the side of my phone. I'm like, what's it supposed to do? If I would have set up the wallet, it was supposed to pop up. He gets back up, he starts coming back, and I'm like, sir? He's just like, he's persistent, like, let me help you. At this point, I'm like, fuck that car, fuck these bills. Again, like, sir, if my signal's bad, not working, don't worry about it. If I have to redo it later, I will. He finally hands me my card. Whatever, just get me out of here. Moral of the story, don't use ATMs anywhere that says fried chicken and gasoline in the same place. Joke's on y'all bitches anyway, because I didn't have enough money on my card to buy what you wanted.